Recently, YouTube has added a new feature to their app, which is YouTube Shorts. If you haven't seen this yet, it's a little icon at the bottom of your YouTube app, or maybe you've even seen it on desktop as well, where it just has this little icon, a little logo that we're not quite used to seeing yet, that represents their YouTube Shorts. And this is a feature that's been added, as far as I'm aware of, and my best guess is that it's to compete with platforms such as Instagram or TikTok or even Facebook in a lot of ways, where short-term content has become very, very popular. And we've all known this for a while, but YouTube's always been the platform that has kind of hung on to long-form content and even been known to push, trying to have videos that are 10 minutes or over. And so this is kind of a new special feature that, we've seen from other platforms. We know that short form content is very, very popular right now, but we just haven't seen it on YouTube yet. And so this is very exciting, very new, and a very cool way that you can be posting and trying to grow our channels through that new medium. And so I want to go over how you can actually make YouTube Short yourself from start to finish, and just highlight the things that you'll want to know when you're shooting, editing, and uploading. First, let's start off with filming. Obviously, if you want to edit a short properly, you need to make sure that you film it properly. And so a couple things to keep in mind when you are filming a short. So first, try to use vertical video. Obviously, this is very popular across different social media platforms. Vertical video has been around for a little bit now, but with YouTube, we're used to seeing horizontal content, right? We're used to seeing 16:9, 17:9, 2.39 to 1. We're used to seeing these kind of horizontal aspect ratios, and so vertical is new and different, and you want to make sure that you're capitalizing on that. YouTube Shorts is optimized for mobile viewing, meaning that it's all leaning towards that vertical content, that 16:9, or I guess 9:16 aspect ratio. And so make sure that when you're filming, obviously you can, and we see this all the time, is you can crop into videos that were originally shot horizontal, but that's not the best way to do it. Right? When you're filming content that way, one, you're not capitalizing on the full sensor of your camera, you're cropping in, which loses resolution, depth of field, all these things that we are really trying to achieve when we're filming. And then to crop in and lose all of that really, really defeats the purpose of having that content so well produced to begin with. And so if your content is only for these shorts, try to film it vertical if you can. That would be my recommendation. I get it. If you're repurposing content and going from content that you originally shot in 16:9 horizontal, and you're trying to repurpose it, I get it. Sometimes we need to crop in to make it work. But if you're starting from scratch and you know that your video is only gonna be used for YouTube Short, just film it the right way to begin with. That will make your life a whole lot easier. So film it vertical, turn that camera vertical as if you're filming a portrait or taking a portrait or something like that. That will help you down the road. Second, if you have any narrative or kind of talking head pieces in your film, anything where there's some sort of like dialogue that's happening within your video, try your best to script it out before you record it. With these shorts, you are capped at 1 minute, and that goes by really, really fast. And especially when you have someone talking to camera and you don't have it specifically scripted out, you would be surprised how quickly that time really goes. And then you try to edit it down in post. If you didn't film it the right way, if you weren't concise in the way that you delivered it initially, it's really, really hard to edit things down to under a minute sometimes in a way that is cohesive and makes sense. And that point brings us to editing, which is that your edits need to be 1 minute or less, 60 seconds or less. I would say try to cut it a little bit before that 60-second mark, because if it goes a little bit over 60 seconds, it's not going to recognize your video as a short, and it won't show up on that short section of YouTube. And so we don't want that. We want to make sure that we're in the safe zone. So just cut it a little bit before that 60-second mark, and you should be good. We also mentioned the vertical crop, and so obviously when we're filming vertical, we want to make sure that our edit is also vertical, and the recommended format is that 9:16 format. So that would be 1080 by 1920, which is the reverse from what we typically see with video, where it's that horizontal but the same aspect ratio. What we're doing is we're flipping that aspect ratio vertical, which will take up the full screen of any mobile device you're viewing on, or at least most mobile devices that you're viewing on. And And so that is the recommended aspect ratio. That aspect ratio will make sure that YouTube recognizes your video as a short. Next, we'll move on to uploading. This is a very important part. We want to make sure that our video gets recognized as a short, and so we want to follow these criteria. And the criteria is simply what we just stated before. We want to make sure that the video is under 60 seconds and that it is 9:16 vertical crop. If you meet this criteria, YouTube will automatically recognize your video as a short, and in your YouTube library, you will see that there is the short icon, the short logo that actually appears on the corner of your video, and so you'll know that YouTube has recognized it. When it comes to thumbnails, it's a little bit underwhelming just how built out this feature is. Basically, your options are either you pick one of the 3 auto-generated frames as your thumbnail, or you can upload a horizontal thumbnail like what we usually see. And that's great for desktop, right? If your short showing up on someone's desktop, then that will be the perfect, thumbnail for them to see that as. But the issue is that we're mobilized for mobile with shorts, and so why don't we have a vertical thumbnail? That feature is just not available yet. My hunch is that in the future, as shorts gets developed and tweaked a little bit, hopefully we will see both the option to upload a horizontal and vertical thumbnail, and YouTube will just be smart enough to, if someone's viewing on desktop, they will see the horizontal thumbnail. If someone's viewing on mobile, they will see the vertical thumbnail. Or honestly, if we just have a vertical thumbnail and even on desktop it shows up vertical, I would be happy with that. Just something that's consistent with the video that makes sense for shorts. Right now, I don't know why we still have a horizontal thumbnail option for a custom thumbnail, but not a vertical one. That doesn't make sense to me. Hopefully that's something that gets worked out and fixed in the future. But for right now, your options are basically upload a custom thumbnail and only have it show up as desktop, or you can select one of those 3 auto-generated thumbnails and just hopefully something in your video looked good. There is a video I found where someone was able to figure out exactly how to get essentially a custom thumbnail to show up as one of those generated thumbnails by basically timing out where in the video YouTube will auto-generate one of those thumbnails and putting a frame of what you actually want the thumbnail to be in there, which is kind of hacking the system. For me, I prefer not to do this. I don't want a random frame, or I don't want to have to custom build my video around having my thumbnail in there. I want to be able to have the flexibility of having my thumbnail and video kind of operate separately. And so hopefully this feature becomes available. But for right now, those are the parameters that we have to work with. Up until recently, the third criteria for having YouTube recognize your video as a short was to use hashtag shorts in your title. I have to say that that's not actually needed anymore. You don't have to use that hashtag in your title for it to recognize it. However, I would still recommend using the hashtag. It helps people know what they're gonna watch. And I'm guessing to an extent, it probably still helps with the algorithm as well to have YouTube promote that as a short. I don't know, I haven't actually tested that out. That's just my theory, and it doesn't really hurt to have that in your title, so I would still recommend it. Lastly is viewing shorts, whether it's your short that you just uploaded or just watching shorts in general. Like we said, on the app, there is a shorts icon that you can click. If you click that, then you will be able to basically scroll through your different shorts, almost like stories on Instagram or on Facebook or something like that. But instead of scrolling side to side, you're going to be scrolling up, and that will filter you through the different shorts that are available. You can also view shorts on someone's channel. You can go to their channel, and if they have the option selected to show shorts on their channel, then you will be able to see the different shorts that they have available and watch through those. On your own channel, you can do this as well. If you go to customize your channel, you can drop down under your different kind of playlist options. Instead of selecting a playlist, there's an option to just select short videos, and that will show all of your shorts that you've created. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you can go ahead and start creating shorts on your own YouTube channel. Or if you don't have a YouTube channel, it just helps you understand this new feature that's been added a little bit better. So go ahead, start making some content, start uploading some shorts, and see what it can do for your channel. And hopefully it helps you grow and get to that next level as you are uploading, creating. And so that's it for me. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. That helps me to know that you enjoy this content, that I should make more. If not, leave me a comment down below as to what I can improve on or what videos you would like to see from me, and I would love to hear that feedback as well. And so I will see you next time. Thank you again for watching.